And subsequently, the questions are, if you know that you're broke, shouldn't you be reducing your expenditure? And for ordinary Ghanaians who pay the taxes, what does it mean? Now, that is at the heart of this conversation this morning. And Alfred Thompson, I know, based on what government communicators have been doing over the last 24 hours, they've been bringing out some figures as well to equalize for this budget. Good morning to you, Alfred. What do you have to say to this? I see you're busily writing. What are you writing?
I'm writing what you are saying.
Okay, thank you. Please, how do you respond to this? The ordinary Ghanaian is asking you, you are broke, you're before the IMF, you're making an expenditure projection for an AFCON tournament of $8.5 million, translating 105. I'm saying 8.5 million because you have to mop up Ghana cedis before you go and convert. Why?
Roland, good morning once again. And I'll say that I'm quite shocked when people complain about some of these things. If you say we are broke, then we shouldn't go there at all. I mean, we shouldn't even sponsor for this match to be held. It's about marketing and branding. And marketing and branding ain't cheap. That is one thing we should appreciate and understand. And, you know, the mere fact that you have gone to IMF doesn't mean we are not budgeting and working for other sectors of the economy.
Really?
We are. The sectors are working. Energy is working, education is working, sports is working, health is working. The Agenda 111 is still ongoing and it's split all over the country. Recently, since independence, we've had only one Ghana National Fire Service Training School. Recently, we've opened one. We've inaugurated or commissioned one extra one. We've added 3 extra to it to make it 4. Why are we saying that? Oh, because we are broke or we don't have money, we shouldn't be doing that. We've expanded the base because it's very necessary to do certain things. And you said we are doing comparison. Yes, we'll do comparison because you see, when you're trying to be mischievous, we need to ask questions. In 2012, how much do we spend? 8 million, isn't it? 2013, we spent a whopping $50 million. 2013, things were no good for this country. But we spent $50 million. 2015, we spent $8 million. It's 2017 that when we took over, we came down to $3 million. And we've budgeted $8 million, but they asked for $5 million. Because you are not just going there just for going to play football and just give them money and come back.
The social capital.
Yes.
Some brand equity you also take.
Thank you. And there's the name Brand Ghana that you can't take it away from us. You need to put all these things into perspective.
Okay.
And it ain't cheap.
Mr. Alfred Thompson, I'm just going through your profile on LinkedIn. You're very much steeped in the world of finance before coming into mainstream politics. Do you think if Ghana is your corporation, is your company, is your household, you're broke, you've come to...
What do you mean by we are broke?
Aren't we broke?
We are not broke.
We are not broke. Haven't we
undertaken... If you are broke,
please.
If you are broke,
please. We have undertaken a debt restructuring program to enable us access a certain bailout, for which even for the bailout, your policy by way of your expenditure and trying to get a recovery for your economy has been managed based on a program, the PCPEC, that you've brought before your partners. Bilateral partners, multilateral partners, could be even those within the market itself that you go and borrow from. China, the Paris Club. Before you are, so you've postponed the payment of your debt. I mean, basically, that's what it is. If you are such an entity, do you think that if you're managing that entity, you budget $8.5 million in excess? You're mopping Ghana cedis. That's 105 million Ghana cedis to mop up into a conversion rate for US dollars to send to neighboring Ivory Coast. Would you do that?
Are you done?
I am done.
Can I flow now?
Please flow.
Thank you. Now, if you say Ghana is broke, then it means we don't have anything. We don't have any money. We can't do anything. The country is not broke. There are financial difficulties. There are financial challenges. And it's a global phenomenon that we should all know. Google it and see, and you realize that you are educated. You can Google. And you know the challenges that are facing throughout the globe. It's not only Ghana that is facing financial difficulties. That doesn't mean that we should fold our arms like some people did some time back and say that Yarinam Naka don't pay. We are not doing that.
Those Yarinam people, they also.
I asked you whether you are done.
They also
so
undertook
that I can flow.
DDEP.
I asked you, are you done so that I can flow? Because I want to flow. I want the people who are listening, who you ask the question for them to listen, to understand and appreciate
go ahead, Mr.
what I'm doing. Thank you very much. So, when you go through a financial restructuring, doesn't mean that you are broke. If you are broke, so broke, that they said everything is done, we've even chewed the bones and everything, then why is the opponent so aggressive to come back to government? That is the question we should be asking. If the place is broke, if there's no money, if we don't know even what we have to do, why are you so aggressive in trying to make sure that you come back to government? When you've been tried, you've been rejected, and you've failed and been sent out. Why is it so? Are you so fixated in making sure that, I'm going to make sure that I come back? To do what? In a broke country? Because the debt restructuring is not going to be paid tomorrow. It's not going to be finished within the next 4 years. It's a structure that we are still going, and it's going to take some time. So it tells you that it's not that the country is broke. That doesn't mean that we should leave every sector to come to a halt and just focus on the financial sector. That is the difference that you should know in financial management. That is not just about finance ministry. It's not just about managing your finances, but how you also spread to make sure that other people within other sectors are not just penalized, or they don't get a shortfall because you are doing this, you are restructuring. And definitely the debt that is being restructured will be paid. It's just that you are asking for a leeway to be able to turn your economy around. And we can see it by the drop in inflation. We can see it by the drop in the prime rates. We can see it by things that are going around. People, even before they gave the 600 million, what was IMF saying? They were telling us that, truthfully, what Ghanaians or what the finance minister was saying is true, that the economy is turning around. So where have we gone wrong? But it comes back to the main point, that if you, in your wisdom, when we were even so broke that you went to IMF, you were budgeting 15 million, and we have budgeted, or you spent 15 million, and we have budgeted 8 million, and we have spent 5 million, where have we gone wrong? Or they took 5 million, where have we gone wrong? Where have you gone wrong? So we should let that person who, when he was in difficulties, budgeted 15 million.
I asked you a direct question. You haven't answered the question. The question is, if you were managing your corporation like that, would you budget that? You haven't answered that. You've gone on this tangent.
I told you that when you are managing an economy or when you are managing an organization, doesn't mean that because you have challenges, you will not go and buy, or you will not make sure that your other departments have their due share of the funding. I said it, and I've said it over and over again, that it gives you the chance to also have the leeway to play around and make sure that you rebuild your capital base. And that is what we are doing. It's about rebuilding your capital base. It's about making sure that at the end of this all, you have the chance to make sure you put things in the right perspective so that your fundamentals become stronger.
Adam, you take a look at the statistics. The equalized response, and from Alfred, as well as what the figures are, is the budgeted expenditure. You take a look at pre-2017, much of it within up to 2012 were higher, and so that's a good justification. What do you say to that?
Well, Roland, let me first say good morning to our cherished viewers across the world, especially to the good people of Ketu North, and also let me especially appreciate all of you for celebrating my birthday with me yesterday, and I'm grateful and humbled by all the well wishes and your prayers for me. Roland, I am very, very worried this morning as a Ghanaian.
About what?
I am worried because it appears to me as though the NPP government and the men at GFA do not have any respect for the good people of Ghana. Roland, listening to my friend Mr. Thompson this morning.
He's your friend?
Yes.
Yeah, your brother.
The justification for this expenditure and for what is going on with regards to expenses on the Black Stars, I am sad. Assuming without admitting that pre-2017, under previous governments, we spent higher amounts even on the Black Stars, assuming without admitting, because some of the figures they are quoting, I have every reason to dispute them, but we'll get into it. In 2016, you campaigned for change. You told us that you wanted to help the country protect the public purse. And today you come and the very standard, the very thing you criticize has become your standard. And you use that to justify all the mess that we see today. Roland, this 2023 AFCON in Ivory Coast.
What about it?
Zambia budgeted $2.1 million.
That's true.
Zambia. If you even look at distance, where is Zambia in terms of our proximity to the Ivory Coast? Ghana is closer. Go to even Zambia. Go to Mauritania. Go to Mozambique. These are countries that they have fixed the fundamentals when we talk about football. You have a country that we are struggling to get a good pitch, even for training. And yet, you take $8.5 million and invest it into this abysmal performance, the disgraceful performance we saw in Ivory Coast. And you sit here, you justify it. We need to respect the good people of Ghana. Because with the Black Stars, it's the people of Ghana that own the team. The GFA is just a management body being paid by us to take care of the team. The sports ministry is supposed to provide policy direction for anything related to sports, including football. But it looks like the two bodies are working together to just deplete our already overburdened purse, and they are only interested in siphoning our money. Roland, I will tell you what goes into all this 8.5 million. Are you aware that with this $8.5 million that we are talking about, almost 5 million of it is into payment of appearance fees and bonuses
Of players?
of players and management before they go for AFCON? Keto Kreku puts together a management team of dozens of people, including drivers. They've created positions for chief of staff and all sorts of scandalous things happening at the GFA. And the Minister for Sports is aiding them. All those on the Black Stars Management Committee or on the management team, they also take appearance fee. My goodness. Which other country do we have at AFCON where management team members and footballers take appearance fee?
Well, they say it's been going on.
Are
so
you
you're
aware
saying that we should just steer?
It doesn't make sense. Why should it go on? You are working with the GFA. You are part of the management committee. And before you go for a tournament, you take an appearance fee. And hundreds of thousands of dollars is being spent in paying these individuals in the name of appearance fee. Another scandalous thing is that, Roland, before our match with Mozambique, we were told that if the Black Stars qualify, they will be paid qualification fee of $5,000 per player. Are you aware? And do you know that even before the game, the money was already transferred to the players? Why do you manage our football with all this mess and you expect the players to perform? There can be no justification, Roland, for this $8.5 million. And I think that it's about time Parliament sits, let's investigate, and people must be prosecuted. This thievery, this embarrassment that they caused us in AFCON, at the AFCON, this 8.5 million expenditure should not be allowed to just go like that. What is even more disturbing is the fact that 2 days before the tournament started,
in Cote d'Ivoire.
Yes, 2 days before the commencement of the tournament, the sports minister and GFA officials were interviewed. And when they were asked about the budget for AFCON, they said it was work in progress. Work in progress. And so at the time we were entering Cote d'Ivoire for the AFCON, we didn't even have an idea how much we budgeted for the AFCON.
Meaning that the ordinary taxpayer should have been
but the
in the know.
The team belongs to us.
Well, that's true.
Yeah, the team belongs to us. And it's the taxpayers' money that they are spending. So, Roland, imagine that you own a football club. I own a football club. My CEO's name is Marshall. So imagine they are going for a tournament.
What's the name of a football club?
Nukunu Sports Academy.
Okay.
Then my CEO comes to me and tells me that we have no idea what the budget looks like. It is work in progress. And so just give us the money to go. What we are discussing today is a leaked letter that the Honorable Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa brought to the media. But for that, you and I will not even have an idea that 8.5 million has been spent to sponsor this very abysmal performance by the Black Stars.
Adam, we decided to bring somebody who has been monitoring this. He's one of the leading sports journalists in Ghana. Indeed, had done a lot of inquisitions prior to the AFCON of public officials, specifically the sports ministry, what the budget was, and then got no answers until making sure they dug further and got this. And of course, Okudzeto Ablakwa also published this leaked memo or letter requesting this money. Sadiq Adams is joining us. Sadiq Adams, good morning. You look at the responses from government officials, not only from the sports ministry, but also the presidency. Is there any justification that Ghana, before the IMF for bailout, for which even from October up to just the last week, had a delay in the next tranche because we didn't get an approval from China, the Paris Club, etc., should be budgeting $8.5 million. In excess, you look at Ghana cedis, 105 million Ghana cedis.
Very much, Roland. There can be only two justifications for the budgeted $8.5 million for the AFCON. Two. One, anybody who tries to justify this is either parts of the loot.
Thank you.
And two, very ignorant of football, especially about the AFCON. These are the only two. If you see anybody trying to justify, the person is first and foremost part of the loot or has benefited grossly from this budget. Or secondly, the person doesn't know what football is about. I have curated the budget for almost 16 of the teams in the AFCON. And I can tell you for a fact, for instance, Namibia came to camp in Ghana and their budget is not up to $1.1 million. Namibia flew to Ghana, and that is inclusive of their budget because the entire football budget of Namibia for the whole year, not the AFCON, the entire football budget in their country is $2.2 million. So they cannot spend that entire
you said
budget.
Namibia, that even did well than Ghana.
Yes. It's public knowledge. It was presented to their parliament. Not more than $2.2 million for the entire football in Namibia. So they couldn't have spent 1.1 million. So it is less than 1.1. Zambia budgeted $2.1 million for the AFCON. And it is a complete controversy in the parliament of Zambia because they don't believe. Roland, CAF caters for over 40 officials, the hotel accommodation, feeding, and other expenses, including domestic transport for the teams, is catered for by CAF. So when you want to budget 8.5 million for the AFCON, it's either you, the Ministry of Youth and Sports, and the GFA have conspired to create loot and share, which has been the practice over the years. And I was being told by a former management committee member of the Black Stars in confidence, and I have records of this, that even the Ministry of Youth and Sports have their share in this budget, and this is also public knowledge in the Jamepe Committee. It's a silent conspiracy theory between the ministry and the GFA, because it is quite unbelievable that anybody will stand up in this country and prepare a budget in excess of even $2 million for an African Cup of Nations that is close next door. Secondly, almost 85 to 90% of this will go into the payment of unscrupulous bonuses to individuals that extends to officials of the ministry who are paid with the taxpayer. How can you send a person from the Ministry of Sports to join the team in the expenditure of in expending for the team at the tournament, and the person is paid for? They have their per diem, their hotel accommodation is catered by government, and the association ends up paying the person $10,000 as an appearance fee. How do you do this? The management committee spends 8 days in a tournament, ends up taking $100,000. It is because the ministry is part of the loot. They wouldn't even approve this. Nigeria, who we ridicule as being corrupt, presented a budget of less than $2 million for this AFCON, and they are still in the competition.
Nigeria?
I would even wonder. Of course, these are public knowledge. These are things that are public. You can easily Google. But because Ghanaians only care about the Black Stars when we win, people are, using that as a launch pad to siphon money, to dissipate. There is a wanton dissipation of resources from this Black Stars. It's become a crime scene. And until Mr. Honorable Okujeto Ablakwa brought this out, I had been inquiring from the ministry, and I was told that I was trying to disrupt the Black Stars campaign by asking for the budget before the tournament. And this was going to be concealed and the money looted till the next AFCON, because we did same during the World Cup. There are sponsors who sponsor the Black Stars. Corporate bodies are on board. These monies are never accounted for, and they still go to the ministry, ask for money from an IMF country. So the Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Sports, and GFA are all engaged in this laid crime of a Black Stars team.
Now,
no
Sadiq,
wonder some of the...
Now, yes. Sadiq, my last question, because I know that you don't have much time, then we can continue the conversation. Is there any justification for making references to what had transpired pre-2017? That, it has always been the subject of non-controversy, of budgeting that high up, even high up to the point where there was a budget of $15 million pre-2017. And so that is a good justification for us to continue on this tangent?
Well, we have been at a point in our lives as a country where we had enough money to spend on this luxury. We are at a point where we cannot even pay for, the renal unit of the Kolebu Hospital. These are issues, critical issues. And I'm not saying the justification is even sensible, because this national team can be catered for with $1 million and $2 million, as other national teams have done. It's the same competition. So why do you justify that another team, or there was a year that we budgeted $50 million? It is the same conspiracy I'm talking about. They go to blow it. So if you understand and you insist that $50 million budgeted pre-2015 or pre-2012 is enough, and therefore a justification, and other teams have come to the same tournament with $1 million in 2023, where then is your justification? Are you justifying the thievery, or you are justifying prudent expenses? These are the two. You can only separate them. If you are justifying $50 million in 2015 and justifying same in 2023, it means that you are justifying thievery and the scandalous acts that surrounds the Black Stars.
Now, based on your experience, what should we do as a country to make sure that we do what is right by way of being austere, budgeting what is right when it comes to the Black Stars going forward?
We need to get government officials who understand the practicality of football, because I'm not sure the minister is even aware that CAF pays for almost 60% of the expenses, and even for FIFA. I'm not sure, because if you are aware, How then do you pay for the same expenses that are paid for FIFA? First and foremost, the appointment to the Ministry of Sports should be done by experts, people who understand football. And secondly, we should decouple the Ministry of Youth and Sports. We should make sure they are not Ministry for Football. And the National Sports Authority, by law, by the Sports Act, are supposed to be the ones who interrogate and probe budget. They are supposed to even do the budget, prepare budget for national teams. If the FA is allowed to prepare any budget they want, it is very easy for them to compromise any minister, because if you can get $2 million or $1 million as a minister from a Black Stars loot, definitely, no matter how genuine you are going to be compromised. So first and foremost, we must make sure that our institutions, especially the National Sports Authority, which by law is mandated to do all this, is set up properly, and not the political appointees who know next to nothing about sports.
Alfred. Thank you, Sadiq.
Did he really answer your question?
He did. You are not satisfied.
Did he answer your question? I haven't finished asking you a question, and then you are saying that he did. Which question are you talking about?
Are you the one who asked the question?
I said,
I'm satisfied
really
with his answer.
Your question on the 15 million that you were asking him about the justification for it. He didn't. He just went around it.
That's your opinion.
He went
Please state
around
your opinion
it.
And let's go. Okay.
He went around it. So let us call a spade a spade. Listen, were we not in this country?
You're going back again?
Yes, I'm going back.
Yeah.
Because I want you to know what has gone on. And if we all have to sit down and say that, listen, this whole thing that is going on, we should look at it.
Is that not what you promised in 2016?
Massa, relax.
I'm asking, is that not what you promised in 2016?
Roland, relax. When I'm explaining things, take your time, please. We sat in this country when over $3 million was airlifted cash to Brazil to do kenke, buy kenke,
please,
and hotel rooms and things for people.
Don't mislead.
Is that not why
we sat in this country? Please don't.
No,
relax. It was your birthday yesterday. You didn't bring us cake.
Mr. Thompson.
So don't
Mr.
talk.
Thompson. Mr. Thompson.
Listen.
No, Mr. Thompson.
We sat in this country.
No, there was a problem.
When Yamin, Deputy Minister for Sports,
Mr. Thompson,
told us that
there was a
there's
problem.
every justification.
A whole commission of inquiry was set up.
And then what happened?
There were findings and
what
the Constitution does indicate. There's supposed to be a white paper. There was a white paper.
Were the people punished?
Well,
were the people punished?
When the punishment,
did you ask questions?
Didn't we ask
you
questions?
Didn't.
Is that not what even led to the government of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo being elected from 2016?
So it was that football thing that elected Nana Addo's government.
There were a plethora of concerns that were raised.
They were fully corrupt. That is the whole thing.
Really?
It was a government of corruption.
So how do you call this one?
This, I am telling you, that they made a budget of 8 million.
No, you are saying that the references to the figure. No, please. Don't jump over the gun. No,
listen,
Mr. Alfred Thompson, let's get this right, please.
When I answer my question,
you made references to periods.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm saying that you're saying those periods were extreme periods of corruption.
Yes.
But you made reference to those periods of extreme corruption as a justification for making the same budgetary expenditure.
For getting them out. You were asking about getting them out of office. And I said they had a plethora of corrupt cases going against them. And that is why Ghanaians said enough is enough.
Questions.
They should go out.
I'm
not setting my own questions. You ask the question and I'm giving you an answer. And you don't want to take my answer because you want me to answer in a certain direction.
No, I don't want you to answer in a
Then let me flow.
Please flow.
So, Yamin, the deputy minister at that time, came to justify why they could go and buy kenke with $3 million. We are not saying that is right. And we won't say that the budget of 5 million is right. If the Black Stars had won, like everybody would have said, oh, they've done well. These have been going on. You remember when President Kufuor came into office, what happened to his first sports minister? You remember what happened to him? Alhaji something, I've forgotten the surname, but it's called Alhaji something. And what happened to him at the Ministry of Sports? You remember what happened to this thing? What do you call him? Your former deputy majority leader under NDC at Ministry of Youth and Sports. So everybody is saying that there's something wrong there. We all have to come together and see that what is the problem. When Black Stars came back, people are saying that, oh yes, the referee has been sacked, it's okay, but the GFA too should go. But is that how you go around it? Let us look at it holistically. That if there is a problem, then we are addressing the problem once and for all. But it's not as if you are coming to say that, oh, government went into bed with GFA and they gave them the monies, because these are monies that over periods.
Who said that?
Oh. But that's what my brother and his cohorts are saying.
Sadiq Adams.
You heard what Sadiq said.
He's a sports journalist.
But I said my brother and his cohorts. You heard what even Sadiq Adams said. So if he said something, I shouldn't come and say that, oh, we should look at it differently and not look at it with an evil eye that maybe it's government that is in bed with. How can you say government is in bed with them when they've brought a budget and it's not government's budget? It's not as if government went to draw the budget and they brought a budget, and we look at it. You look at previous years, what has been spent. You look at the actuals against your budget, and then you give them funding.
What is the distance? The distance is what? You're talking about budget?
The actuals, yeah, the budget. You look at the actuals against the budget. Why is he in a rush to come in when I haven't finished?
No, we don't have the time for all the issues.
We don't have more time. Then why do you call us to come and explain?
No, please.
We are in government,
Please
so you should give me more time to explain.
No.
Yes.
I'll give you core time.
You give me more time to explain. So what I'm saying is that we have been through different scenarios. We have been through different issues. The GFA brought a budget. It was cut down. They gave them something. So if they've given them, it is up to us to look at it and say that, oh, the GFA did not spend well. Now let us go this tangent. Let us maybe drop officials. I haven't seen officials that are taking appearance fee there. I haven't seen that budget for it. I don't know where he got his budget for. Okay. Maybe that is what they did during their time. It doesn't mean that we are doing that during our time. Neil is my brother. Let me finish. Then you can
you've ended.
I haven't ended. You've concluded.
Neil Van der Poy says, and he was very much in the space under the NDC. So he said, good morning to you, Neil. He says, I'm scandalized by Alfred Thompson's statement that pre-2017, government budgeted more than $50 million. As a minister under John Mahama, $50 million. 15, that's what I said.
That's what you said. I didn't say more than 15.
Okay.
There's a difference.
We slashed the budget of the Black Stars and cancelled those unwarranted bonuses for officials. The expected budget for 2017 AFCON couldn't have exceeded $2.5 million based on our own estimations in 2016. But the MPP came in.
Which year did he mention? 2016. 2017.
He says that based on their estimations from 2016.
But the 50 million was for a particular year. It was 2013.
Today
you can't mix 2 years. No, it was 2013. The 50 million was 2013.
He had disputed the figures. Allow him.
I'm scandalized by Alfred Thompson's statement that
he's given a figure for 2016, and you are telling me that
please mute his mic. Let me read this. I'm scandalized by Alfred Thompson's statement that pre-2017, government budgeted more than $50 million. As a minister under John Mahama, we slashed the budget of the Black Stars and cancelled those unwarranted bonuses for officials by 2016. The expected budget for 2017, based on what had been experienced by 2017 for 2017 AFCON, couldn't have exceeded $2.5 million. But the MPP government came in and accepted a whopping more than $5 million.
That's not true. It's not true. Now let me give you the figures. In 2013, it was 50 million. No, let me just give you this figure. We came in 2017. We gave 3 million. We budgeted 3 million.
After he talks, you come back.
You see what you are doing, Roland. I haven't landed when you started reading. I didn't land. I'm telling you that in 2015. Their budget for the AFCON was 15 million. 2015 was 8 million. 2017, when he says 2016, they did about 2.5. I might believe it. This message he read was 2016.
He said the projection they were looking at for 2017 AFCON
should
be that the budget should be.
Read the thing he said.
I have the thing.
I heard what you read. He said 2016. Now in 2017, our budget was 3 million. So if it's gone up now, then we have to ask the GFA questions. Why it went up? But we can't say that because of that, then it means that we are being ridiculous. What sort of politics is this? We should be realistic. It's not Takashi. We should speak the truth for once. We should speak the truth for once.
All right.
Roland, Sadiq Adams made a very profound statement that there can be only 2 justifications for this mess. First, as if you are ignorant about sports or football.
What do you mean by ignorant?
Ignorant because when you know how AFCON or tournaments of this nature are organized, the expenses that are taken by CAF, the monies that are received from sponsors for such competitions, and then what comes from government. In case, okay, if you are ignorant about all of these things, it is easy for you to just say the budget is justified, like Mr. Thompson is saying. The only other justification could be that you are part of the loot, because we mentioned Nigeria, cited Namibia,
Zambia.
I mentioned Zambia earlier. All these countries are participating in the same AFCON with you. Namibia even had their training session in Ghana. Surprisingly, at the time we were preparing to go for our pre-AFCON camping, the Black Stars management, GFA, decided to take the team to South Africa. Look at the weather in Ivory Coast. Look at the weather in South Africa in December and compare. It was unreasonable, completely senseless, ridiculous to suggest even South Africa as training. Ridiculous to suggest South Africa as the training grounds. But for the backlash from us, sports fans, and people who are into the business of football, then the team changed. The team changed their training ground to Kumasi. You went to the AFCON, put up that mess of a performance, that embarrassing performance, and on the back of it, you're talking about 8.5 million. Roland, Alfred said something, and it's a blatant lie. Alfred, you see, if you want us to educate you on football issues, you can ask for education freely.
So now what you are saying?
What happened? No, what happened with the airlifting of the 3 million? Mm-hmm. It was nothing about Kenke or whatever. It was about, let me tell you. You see, you are ignorant. Now I can show you the statement of the GFA 9 years ago when that happened.
I said after that,
before they went for the 2014 World Cup. No, you said Yamin justified that was for Kenke. That's what you said.
But then
it's a blatant lie.
Didn't Elvis go to the commission and cry?
No.
Didn't Elvis cry at the commission?
Elvis expressing his emotions has
didn't
nothing to do with the commission that there was no corruption. Allow me to speak, because when you see, you don't know anything about football.
Oh yes,
so you can't just come and then spill all this ignorance.
You know the football issues.
Yeah, because I'm into football. I can proudly say that.
Ghanaians are ignorant. That's what you're trying to tell us.
At the 2014 World Cup, Roland, at the 2014 World Cup, this is this whole thing about the airlifting. At the 2014 World Cup, the members, the playing body, the Black Star players, were expected to receive an appearance fee and some bonuses. When the tournament started, the GFA and the sports ministry informed them that we were waiting for our participation fee from FIFA, and that is the money that will be used to settle those bonuses.
But because they didn't trust you,
when the FIFA participation fee delayed, then the Black Star players protested. Then government intervened and said, while waiting for FIFA to pay the participation fee,
that's not true.
Let's take $3 million from Ghana and go pay so that the players could go and play.
That's not true.
Because the players at the time said they could not trust the GFA,
they could not trust
the GFA leadership. It wasn't an issue about government. It's not government that pays the players directly.
So now you
Stop being ignorant.
So now you know that.
Stop telling the blatant
now
lies.
You know
but
that
government releases the money.
Now you know.
So after all this was sent, where did Kenke come in? That you sit on morning show with thousands of people watching you, and you are telling these blatant lies. Let me tell you one thing.
Commission when they told us that you are about Kenke and they cried about
it. You when you were speaking, I was quiet.
So I'm
quiet. You were telling a lot of lies, but I kept quiet. You need to respect our viewers.
I'm still quiet.
Keep quiet and let me talk.
You can't tell me to keep quiet.
No, you have to keep quiet.
You cannot tell me to keep quiet.
Because what you are doing, you are not being cross.
You cannot tell me to keep quiet. No.
Because
let him know that. Let him know
no, you don't have to
let him know that. What you know, you cannot tell me to quiet. You cannot tell me to
quiet. Let's a lot of ignorance. You know nothing about what is going on here.
Oh, I don't know.
You know nothing about how the
when people were buying Kenke.
Please.
So this year, no group for
the Jamaica Commission report and the outcome subsequently led to the payment of the Black Star players as well as their officials through their accounts, because it was said at the commission and based on their reports, there shouldn't be cash given or by way of transactions that has got related to the team. And we also saw what transpired at the Jamapa Commission as well. And so we all know what the public issues are. So now you conclude for me.
So, Roland, in conclusion.
You should respect all of us.
Roland,
Right. Yes.
Roland, in conclusion.
Respectfully.
Respectfully, in conclusion, Roland. I want every concerned Ghanaian, everyone who is concerned about how our taxes are spent, everyone who is concerned about how resources of this nation are put to use, we must call for a committee to be established. It can be a bipartisan parliamentary committee. It can be any other commission like the Jamepe Commission to investigate what went on at the 2023 AFCON, how the GFA and the Ministry of Sports refused to release the budget to the good people of Ghana prior to the tournament, how the monies were spent, what happened, and then some people must take the fall. Look, what is happening, and I blame CAF and FIFA also to an extent, is that they have this regulation where governments are not supposed to interfere with the management of football.
FIFA and the other bodies.
Yes, and because of that, officials of GFA hide under that clause, that provision, and they engage in all sorts of ridiculous things
with government officials.
With government officials, they connive. And I'm saying that the sports minister is part of this mess. Also primarily because he's very ignorant about issues of sports.
What do you mean by that?
I'm telling you, the sports minister knows that. I know the sports minister.
It's okay.
I have engaged him before. Okay. The gentleman knows nothing to sports. He knows nothing, next to nothing about sports. Then the gentleman has no idea even how money that he released to the GFA are spent. Roland, where we are in crisis. And until the issues are resolved, the Black Stars cannot put up any better performance.
Do you think we need a committee from government to investigate?
We must. I'm even surprised that till today, President Akufo-Addo and Dr. Bawumia are silent about the abysmal performance of the Black Stars. Let me tell you. But for the fact that President John Dramani Mahama is not as petty as President Akufo-Addo, he should have been on the streets shouting about the performance. Because in 2014, when we lost our World Cup match, okay, then candidate Akufo-Addo made a tweet where he said, the country is challenged. No water, no electricity, no Black Stars victory. He was so petty at the time that he could play partisan politics even with the performance of the Black Stars. But look at the performance of the Black Stars under his government. Nothing to write home about. From 2017 to now. Look, we go to AFCON and a country like Comoros, Mozambique, Cape Verde could embarrass Ghana, a football nation, with all the stars that we paraded. Look, take a critical look at the individual players that each country took to the AFCON. There is no other country at the 2023 AFCON who had more stars, more individual, better players than Ghana. But look at the shambolic performance that we saw. Because everything starts from the leadership. President Akufo-Addo, who was playing politics with the abysmal performance of Black Stars in 2014, under his leadership, we are not even able to qualify out of the group stages. Because we have a leadership that is only interested in siphoning money. They see even AFCON as an opportunity to steal. There must be a committee. People must be investigated and prosecuted. Sports minister must be number one. GFA officials must follow. And even the Black Stars, how the coaches were selected. Are you aware that as we speak, Chris Hughton was selected because of his relationship with Gabi Asare-Ochidako? Look, those of us in football, we know things. And I'm saying that if Gabi or anybody doubts this, they can take me anywhere. I'm telling you, I am in football. Some of them were selected. Chris was selected because of his relationship with people in government. Look, Roland, I am an angry football fan. I am an angry Ghanaian because my tax. Let me tell you something that went on at AFCON. Just to conclude,
please.
Before AFCON, yes, before AFCON, I had slots.
Please put the Afrobarometer slide.
Yes, we'll go there. I had the opportunity to send about 4 or 5 people to also go and watch the game in Cote d'Ivoire. But you know why I refused to send my people? They sent thousands of MPP supporters and delegates, and they paid them $400 after the first match. when Ghana lost to Cape Verde, the supporters organized a press conference and said that they were going to boycott the second match against Egypt. Then before the second match, $400 was paid to MPP supporters. Thousands of them. Thousands of MPP supporters, thousands of MPP polling station executives were taken. They were selected through the district chief executives, taken to AFCON, $400 of our taxpayers' money. At the time, government is unable to pay capitation grant. At the time, government is able to finance school feeding program. As we speak today, school feeding is no more a daily program. In some schools, they feed the kids twice a week. All this mess.
Let me read this from Helga Bwedi. Helga Bwedi says,
shameful. Roland, very, very shameful.
Helga Bwedi says, Roland, the whole country is a crime scene. Look, where is our priority? La General Hospital, to be rebuilt, is supposed to be rebuilt with the government of Ghana budget, but still in a ghost mode. Agenda 111 indeed. And to think that Mr. Alfred Thompson is still going back 7 years on and still going back. Well. Now we have a couple more messages as well. Hajia Loratu. He says, you seem to be condoning defamation on this set, where I have to appropriately disassociate ourselves. Media General, TV3, we do that appropriately. We've always done that if you do the monitoring.
I just sat here when he talked about Gabi being the one choosing.
But go to GF. You see, and I'm telling you that
you don't know that. I mean, let's stop this.
That cannot be defamation.
Let's stop this. Childish politics.
What is childish politics?
Let's stop it.
What is
everything you want to do politics around?
No, what is politics?
Where did you see Gabi going to choose them?
But even in the committee that we were putting together,
do that.
So what? People are there using our money, taxpayers' money, sending money to look, let me tell you, Ghanaians are angry.
But you think we are not angry?
You have no evidence that Gabi is involved in the trial. Please, let's know. There was a question that was asked by Bolare. Bolare did ask in that personal interview that I'm told that you are closer to Chris Houghton. And I know what the response are also replicated on social media. If that
should be stopped.
But I didn't make reference to that interview, and I have said
to make politics out of anything.
I have said.
Now let's look at that. Let's look at that Afrobarometer latest report. Who is more corrupt in Ghana? If you take and please, when I ask this question, don't go back to the Black Stars. We've ended with the Black Stars, and categorically respond to this. And you look at.
Want to pick and choose. It's not right. You are not being nice to me today. I've been on your set for a long time, and you are not treating me right today. I should state it.
Okay.
And let the viewers.
So you take a look at what the Afrobarometer did indicate by 2022. That who was more corrupt. Now we have the latest report that is indicating. So of course we have the police, the presidency, etc. There's been a latest Afrobarometer report that's indicating that perceived corruption in key public institutions. You go to page 9 and 10 of this report, as you have it, it's telling you perceived corruption in key public institutions for a survey that was undertaken in 39 countries. And for Ghana, we have the police leading, tax officials, civil servants, officials in the presidency, they are members of parliament, business executives, judges and magistrates. That's the perception. Why do we have, it looks like a bulk of institutions or individuals within those institutions always seem to come up each time we have these perception indexes or surveys. Ms. Alfred Thompson.
I'll use 1 minute to finish my destined case, and then I'll move on to this. I still insist and state that in 2013, when Mahama was president, they used 50 million to sponsor the Blacks and the AFCON. 8 million. 2017, when we came, we used 3 million. 2019 we used 4.5 million, and today they've come to 8. Now you can sit here and justify everything and say that, oh, we don't know, we are ignorant about football, because NDC knows football. But when they went to AFCON and all those World Cup and everything, I don't think they brought the cup home with all their knowledge.
But
of
we
football.
performed better.
They didn't bring the cup home. So you can sit here and shout and misbehave and everything. You see, he's misbehaving. He's misbehaving. And you are misbehaving. Yesterday was your birthday, and relax. Relax. You are a young man. Relax.
Roland, this year no grief for anybody. We just won't allow you.
You see the type of politics they are doing.
Let's
they go. When I was talking about that, when I was talking, I'm concluding. When we talked about the kinky that they went when they went to Brazil, Elvis sat on set and cried, and they asked him why they used one kinky for $10. And this thing, even the person who went to show them where the kinky was, they paid him $20 to go and show. That is what they spent our money on. And you sit here and you are rather come to accuse GFA and the sports ministry of so many things.
There should be a committee.
I think it's no, but you don't accuse them before you ask for a committee. You don't accuse people. That is not how you behave. He has been in politics before. They've been in government before. They know what they did in government, so they think everyone is behaving like them. Please, let's call a spade and move from there. Now, coming to this Afrobarometer, from what I see on your screen,
please put it on the screen again.
Perceived corruption in key public institutions in 39 countries. They are not talking about just Ghana. They are talking about 39 countries put together that they did, and that is the survey they are doing. When you come to the Transparency International, they still in 2023.
They are not credible.
They in 2023. I'm coming. I'll come back to this. In 2023, they still rank Ghana as maintaining the 43rd position and the 8th best in Africa in the fight against corruption and everything. And that is Transparency International for you. This is a credible report. We will look at it, we will investigate it, and we'll make sure that we fight the corruption. And I'm telling you one thing, you cannot fight corruption by every day sitting and saying, I'm fighting corruption, I'm fighting corruption. And that is why Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia took a decision to go digital. That is the best way of fighting corruption. That is the best way of making sure that people do not have that face-to-face interaction. And they can, through the system, they can be able to stop certain things. Because when I do everything, and things can be tracked easily when you go digital, it's not just being paperless, but you can track. So whatever that electronically, whatever that goes into the system, someone can sit behind and be watching to see whether the right thing is being done. Because if I take my track or my cargo or my container onto this thing, weigh this thing, and it's supposed to be full of chicken. The chicken weighs so much. This is how much you are expecting from it. This is how much you are supposed to pay. And now you go, and the way thing shows one figure, and you go and reduce it, someone will see, and someone will know that something has gone fishy over there.
Right.
That is how to fight corruption. But not come to sit and say that, oh, I'm fighting corruption, I'm fighting corruption. And we've put measures in place. The OSP, the IOCO is working, CID is working, everybody is working to make sure that at the end of it all, we fight the corruption together. It's not a one-man's fight. It's a national fight.
Right.
And it's a national canker.
Right.
And that is why today, based on the digitalization, we are able to identify, we are able to smell wherever corruption is, and we fight it. And I'll tell you that Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud
now the same report
is doing a good work.
Indicating that over the last 12 months,
we're number 5.
okay, sorry. That over the last 12 months, let's go, there's the page before this, please. Let's go the page before this. Over the last 12 months, corruption increased in the previous 12 months, and the countries are, so the countries that are ahead of the whole of Africa, first, corruption increased in over the last 12 months, when the research was undertaken in Eswatini, South Africa, Lesotho, and Sudan comes. And after Sudan, we are next.
That's scandalous.
So corruption increased in these countries, Eswatini, this will be former Botswana, South Africa, Lesotho, Sudan, Ghana. And then you have Gambia, Kenya, Gabon, Liberia, Namibia, before Nigeria comes. For those who like to, to Eswatini, then there's Mauritius, then we have Botswana, Uganda. All right. So, what's your response?
You want me to
Roland, Roland, I perused the Afrobarometer, and
you were hot the last few minutes. Now you've come back.
I perused the Afrobarometer, and there are very interesting things in the Afrobarometer that we have to look at. One is what you are projecting now, that in the last 12 months, corruption increased in 39 countries, and the percentage is rightly indicated. And for Ghana, we rank number 5 with 77%. Gambia also 77, Kenya and all of that. So we are number 5. But there's another interesting aspect of the report, which many of us are not looking at. When you go down further, Roland, the one that says government performance in fighting corruption, I'm sure your producers can project that as well. Government performance in fighting corruption. See where Ghana ranks. You can go up. So corruption is increasing in Ghana by 77%. But when it comes to attempts by government, not this, there's one slide before this, to fight corruption, Ghana ranks among the 10 least countries. So this is it. Government, look at it. We are 10th from the bottom. No, not this one. Government performance.
In fighting corruption.
In fighting corruption. So look at it from Sudan.
Just 14% commitment.
Just 14% commitment. And you see, I've always said.
Let's go to the countries that are top.
Yes,
doing well. Togo is up there. Cote d'Ivoire, AFCON country.
So the real issue is not even.
It's even doing better than us. Mali.
Benin is doing better. And look at all these countries. Even Niger. That as we speak today, you cannot really speak to they having centralized government or having systems in place. But you have a government that every day is screaming about fighting corruption.
Well, there's an OSP.
You see, they've created.
To be truthful.
You see, I said this in 2017 on this platform that what Ghana needs to fight corruption is political will and not the creation of new bureaucracies. So you have OSP, but what has the OSP been able to achieve with regards to corruption? The reports are there for all of us to see, and I'm happy Alfred described the report as credible. I'm sure he didn't look at these other aspects.
Oh, I've looked at everything.
When you look at it, what this is telling you is that, yes, corruption is increasing in Ghana. Under President Akufo-Addo, corruption is becoming more and more lucrative. And yet, government response is contrary, is in contrast, because government is not doing much to fight corruption. But you see, how did we arrive here? We are here today because we have a president whose only accolade, whose most prestigious achievement in the fight against corruption is that he has earned for himself the infamous title of a clearing agent.
What do you mean by that?
Since 2017, tell me, anytime President Akufo-Addo has shown commitment to corruption by punishing anyone in his government, even people caught on tape, video, even when there is video evidence, President Akufo-Addo clears them.
What
Look at Cecilia. Clearing. Roland.
Edem. For all the instances you're mentioning,
Yes.
whether it's Charles Bissiou or whatever, they go through
Cecilia
either
Dapa,
they go through the CIA
visa, Australia visa, and all of that.
the OSP. So they go through key anti-corruption institutions, we're told. That's the justification.
For once, Roland, you've done well.
Roland.
For once.
Roland, for example, I will start. You see, I like it. I like
you've
it.
done well.
Roland,
For once.
Roland, oh, you is fine. Roland, let me start. I'll respond to each and every one of the cases. Let me start with Cecilia Dapa.
Are you giving time?
At the time, Cecilia Dapa tendered in her resignation. In response to the resignation letter, even before any committee or any institution commenced investigations into the matter, President Akufo-Addo, in the acceptance letter, stated that he was hopeful that Cecilia Dapa will come out clean.
Is it clear?
You are the number one gentleman of the land. Presidency comes with responsibility. When you make such reckless statements, even before commencement of investigation,
what do you mean by this?
What do you
expect?
Reckless. It's reckless because
how can it be reckless?
If you are the president of the republic, it is your duty to ensure that you allow the institutions mandated with the power to investigate to carry out their work without interference. Even before they commenced investigations, you have cleared her.
Relax.
Why won't they work to justify what you wrote in the letter? Again, issues of cash for seats. You were in this country. People were required to pay $100,000 to sit on the same table with President Akufo-Addo. They claim that the president being referred to was the president of the Millennium, whatever, the committee, the event organizers and all of that.
And it was investigated.
Which clarification, Roland?
But that's what you're referring to. That
They
the president
cleared
was
them.
not meant.
The Australian visa issue.
That one, you brought it again today.
Have they? Yes. I mean, Malik is good at raising this. Where's the report?
The visa scandal.
Yes, where's the report? Where's the report that cleared Charles Bissell when he was caught on tape? And you see, these are issues that you can't continue taking the people of Ghana for granted.